As people age, the length of time they experience an orgasm tends to decrease, influenced by a mix of physical and psychological changes. For men, there's a natural recovery period after an orgasm, often called the refractory phase, during which it's impossible to have another climax. How long this phase lasts can vary dramatically, depending on factors like age, their relationship dynamics, and personal sexual history. While some men can achieve multiple orgasms under specific circumstances, it's far from typical. Quick note from me. There are always exceptions to the rule, but let's be honest, those multiple orgasm guys are more of a myth for most of us regular folks. Oh, and by the way, before we dive deeper, I want to invite you to support our journey. A simple like, a share, or a comment on our channel keeps us motivated to bring you even more stories worth your time. If you enjoy what you see, don't hesitate to share your thoughts or questions. We're here to grow closer as a community. Thanks for sticking around till the end of this video. I truly appreciate it. Now back to the real talk. When it comes to orgasms, men and women don't always see eye to eye, or feel it for that matter. Research highlights some eye-opening differences. For example, one study found that while 85% of men claimed their partners reached orgasm during sex, only 64% of the women confirmed it. Yeah, you read that right, there's a glaring gap, often referred to as the orgasm gap by sexologists. This difference isn't just about biology. Emotional and societal pressures play a huge role in shaping sexual satisfaction. The duration of an orgasm itself depends on various factors like age, how long someone abstains beforehand, the kind of stimulation, and whether it happens during masturbation or intercourse. Studies show that women's orgasms last around 18 seconds on average, while men's linger slightly longer, clocking in at about 22 seconds. Still, there's a staggering statistic that reveals about 15 to 20% of women in the US have never experienced an orgasm. If that doesn't make you think about the need for more open conversations around sexual health, I don't know what will. When it comes to foreplay, there's another gap to unpack. Women generally hope for about 19 minutes of intimacy before the main act, but men seem to think 11 minutes is just fine. The reality? The average is closer to 13 minutes. This disconnect is more than just numbers. It's a reflection of differing desires and priorities. Interestingly, a study in Australia found that many women are more turned on by the thought of foreplay than the act of intercourse itself. And let's face it, foreplay isn't just kissing or touching. It's everything that builds anticipation. Playful teasing, flirtatious banter, and those intimate little gestures that spark connection. Here's a fascinating tidbit. The facial expressions people make during orgasms are eerily similar to those made during pain. Scientists suggest it's because the same parts of the brain light up in both cases. They're still scratching their heads over how our minds tell pleasure apart from pain, which leaves this topic ripe for more exploration. And get this, reports of orgasms without traditional stimulation have surfaced, especially among people under the influence of psychedelics. There are also accounts of individuals who experienced orgasms after gender-affirming surgeries, proving how adaptable and diverse human sexuality can be. One man even claimed he had 6 orgasms in under 40 minutes, with each one producing less and less ejaculate. Now that's a story you don't hear every day. Think of foreplay like the warm-up before a workout. It's essential. Research backs this up, showing that only 30% of women climax from penetrative sex alone. The rest? They need variety and attention to detail. And foreplay isn't just physical. Creating the right atmosphere, dim lighting, soft music, or even fragrant candles can elevate the experience and deepen intimacy. A large-scale survey involving 40,000 men revealed that the most attractive trait in a woman is her willingness to take the lead in initiating intimacy. But it's not all rosy. Around 75% of these men said excessive makeup was a major turnoff. Interestingly, touch ranked as the most telling sign of sexual interest, with 100% of women and 95% of men agreeing on its importance. Speaking of cultural quirks, did you know that some U.S. states have laws that are downright bizarre when it comes to personal matters? For example, selling sex toys is illegal in Alabama, flirting is banned in San Antonio, Texas, and oral sex is outlawed in Indiana. Even sleeping in the nude can get you in trouble in Minnesota. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Here's one last thought to chew on. A study by the American Sociological Association found that men who actively help with household chores tend to enjoy a more fulfilling sex life. Funny how something as simple as doing the dishes can set the mood. The research also pointed out that the most deeply satisfying sexual experiences are often tied to being truly in love with your partner. When it comes to the physiology of orgasms, the journey is as diverse as the individuals experiencing it. For women, reaching climax typically takes around 20 minutes of uninterrupted stimulation, but self-stimulation can sometimes achieve the same result in as little as 30 seconds. This wide range highlights the intricate and varied nature of human sexual response and personal preferences. A quick side note from me. It's wild how some people can get there in seconds while others need a lot more time and effort. It just goes to show that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to intimacy. Cultural attitudes toward oral sex vary dramatically across the globe, shaped by societal norms, religious beliefs, and personal values. For instance, in many African regions, oral sex is often seen as unnatural and is sometimes outright condemned. Religious doctrines in various parts of the world also label oral sex as sinful or morally wrong. In contrast, Western societies, parts of industrialized Asia, and the islands of the South Pacific generally view oral sex as a natural and essential part of intimacy and foreplay. These cultural differences show how deeply rooted traditions influence what people consider normal in their sexual lives. Even foreplay routines differ from country to country. Iceland takes the lead in using vibrators during intimate moments, with 52% of couples incorporating them, followed by the British at 49% and Norwegians at 35%. The growing use of sex toys and even pornography across many nations reflects a shift in how people approach and enhance sexual pleasure. This shift aligns with research into female pleasure, which emphasizes that most nerve endings tied to female orgasms are located on the surface of the vulva. This makes penetration unnecessary for climax, highlighting the clitoris as a key player in female sexual satisfaction. On the subject of the clitoris, did you know it continues to grow throughout a woman's lifetime? It's fascinating how it shares some similarities with the male anatomy, including a foreskin, glans, and a shaft. Stimulation of the clitoris can activate approximately 15,000 nerve endings, sending waves of pleasure throughout the pelvic area. What's even more incredible is that the clitoris exists purely for pleasure. It has no direct role in reproduction. That said, during a woman's orgasm, the rhythmic contractions of the uterus are thought to help draw in sperm, showcasing a unique biological mechanism tied to reproduction. But not everything positively impacts sexual health. For instance, wearing high heels might diminish sexual pleasure, and hormonal birth control methods are known to lower libido. On a brighter note, the clitoris is one of the few parts of the body that doesn't age. It retains its sensitivity and functionality for life. That's definitely a win for women everywhere. Another quick comment. It's funny how nature balances things out. The clitoris stays the same over time, but for guys, let's just say gravity isn't so kind to everything. On a different note, the record for the largest penis belongs to Jonah Falcon, a New Yorker whose measurements are frankly astonishing: 9.5 inches flaccid and a jaw-dropping 13.5 inches when erect. But size aside, plenty of people struggle with satisfaction in their intimate lives. Simple changes like using lubricant can make a huge difference in comfort and sensation. Here's something surprising. The urge to ejaculate isn't actually controlled by the brain, but by the spinal cord. And during an orgasm, the lateral orbital frontal cortex, situated right behind the left eye, actually shuts down. This underscores just how complex and intertwined our bodies and minds are when it comes to sexual experiences. For women, the pathways to pleasure extend beyond the genitals. Some can even experience what's known as a nipplegasm, reaching orgasm solely from nipple stimulation. This demonstrates just how multifaceted and unique sexual pleasure can be. When it comes to how long couples last during intimacy, the numbers might surprise you. In New Mexico, for example, couples average 7 minutes and 1 second. Topping the charts in the U.S., West Virginia follows with 5 minutes and 38 seconds. Idaho comes in at 5 minutes and 11 seconds, South Carolina at 4 minutes and 48 seconds, and Missouri rounds out the list at 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Now, shifting gears to sexual health for men, there are some practical ways to keep things in top shape. Regular exercise, running, rowing, or even team sports can significantly boost cardiovascular health, which directly impacts sexual function. A strong heart means better blood flow, reducing the risk of erectile dysfunction. Your diet also plays a role. Foods like spinach, which supports circulation, and avocado loaded with healthy fats, can do wonders for sexual vitality. Even spicy foods containing capsaicin can improve blood flow and heart health, helping to maintain performance where it counts. And of course, hygiene is key. Keeping clean isn't just about sexual health, it's about overall well-being. Little habits can make a big difference in staying healthy and feeling confident. Taking care of personal hygiene is an essential part of maintaining sexual health. For men, this means cleaning the penis daily with mild soap and lukewarm water. This simple habit helps prevent bacteria buildup, lowers the risk of infections, and promotes overall genital health. However, it's important to avoid harsh soaps or scrubbing too vigorously, as this can cause irritation or discomfort. A little tip from me: gentle care goes a long way. You're not sanding wood. You're taking care of something delicate and vital. Mental health and sexuality. Your mental health has a significant impact on your sexual drive, performance, and overall satisfaction. Stress, anxiety, and emotional struggles can take a toll on your desire for intimacy. Practicing mindfulness, seeking therapy, or simply finding activities that bring joy and relaxation can improve your mental state, and in turn, boost your confidence and interest in sex. Sleep and sexual wellness. Getting enough sleep is another key factor. Sleep allows your body to recover and maintain hormonal balance, which is crucial for sexual function. Chronic sleep deprivation can result in lower testosterone levels, leading to reduced libido and difficulties in achieving or maintaining an erection. To support sexual health and energy, aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. Fun fact: did you know that your sleeping position might affect your dreams? People who sleep face down with their arms above their heads often report having more vivid or even sexual dreams. It's a quirky insight into how our bodies and minds work together, even when we're asleep. For women, the brain plays a central role in sexual arousal and orgasm, emphasizing the importance of emotional connection and mental relaxation during intimacy. Work-life balance and intimacy. In today's fast-paced world, the stress of a busy work schedule often interferes with intimacy. Studies reveal that around 40% of men and 35% of women only have sex once a week, largely due to exhaustion and lack of time. When people are stressed, intimacy tends to take a back seat. Finding a healthier work-life balance can reduce stress and create more opportunities to connect with a partner on a deeper level. Understanding sexual climax. When it comes to orgasms, women generally require more time and consistent stimulation to reach climax compared to men. On average, it takes about 15 minutes of focused and precise attention. This highlights the importance of communication and attentiveness during intimacy, fostering mutual satisfaction and stronger connections. Frequency preferences and barriers. A survey revealed that nearly 75% of people wish they could have sex at least 3 times a week. Unfortunately, lifestyle factors such as stress, fatigue, and time constraints often get in the way. Addressing these barriers can help couples reconnect and prioritize their intimate lives. Condom care matters. Storing condoms properly is crucial to ensuring they work as intended. For example, keeping them in a wallet for more than a month can weaken the material, making them more likely to break during use. Always check the expiration date and store condoms in a cool, dry place to maintain their effectiveness. The role of scent in attraction. Scent plays a surprisingly powerful role in attraction. People are naturally drawn to those with pleasant scents, which can enhance their overall appeal. This underscores the connection between physical chemistry and intimacy. Hydration and sexual health. Staying hydrated is another underrated aspect of maintaining sexual health. Proper hydration supports circulation, boosts energy levels, and ensures your body's physical responses function optimally during intimacy. It's a small step that can make a big difference. Did you know? According to Men's Health, men report masturbating an average of 12 times a month. This shows how self-care and personal satisfaction play a role in overall sexual health. Anal sex changing perceptions. Once considered taboo, anal sex is becoming more mainstream, with research showing that over 40% of women aged 20 to 49 have tried it at least once. Interestingly, 8% of couples who engage in unprotected anal sex report unplanned pregnancies, highlighting the importance of using protection, even in these situations. When it comes to preferences, studies reveal that 90% of women value width over length in a partner's anatomy. While 85% of women are satisfied with their partner's size, only 55% of men feel the same about themselves. These numbers reflect how perceptions and expectations can differ between genders. Surprising benefits of sexual activity. Sex has more benefits than just physical pleasure. For women, regular sexual activity has been linked to improved memory. However, it's important to note that when a woman dresses provocatively, it doesn't necessarily signal an interest in sex. Open communication about desires and boundaries leads to greater satisfaction and understanding in relationships. Sexual partners, the numbers. According to surveys, women aged 20 to 59 have had an average of 4 sexual partners in their lifetimes, while men in the same age range report an average of 7. These statistics provide insight into how experiences differ between genders. The vibrator's curious history. The vibrator, now a common and widely accepted tool for sexual pleasure, has a fascinating history. Its evolution reflects changing societal attitudes toward sexuality and women's empowerment in seeking pleasure. The vibrator, now a common fixture in sexual wellness, has a rather unexpected origin. It was invented in the 18th century as a medical device, originally designed to treat symptoms of hysteria in women, an outdated and sexist diagnosis often attributed to anxiety or emotional distress. Looking back, it's both fascinating and ironic how a device meant to address supposed medical concerns became a symbol of sexual empowerment and pleasure. Sympathy over desire. In Australia, an intriguing 22% of women report having sex out of feelings of sympathy rather than genuine desire. It's a complex dynamic, highlighting how emotional factors often intertwine with physical intimacy. On a more practical note, a sexually active woman not using contraception faces an 85% chance of becoming pregnant within a year. A reminder of how essential contraceptive planning is for those not ready to start a family. The benefits of frequent intimacy. For men, regular sexual activity has been linked to improved sperm quality, adding another health perk to an active sex life. Speaking of extraordinary sexual feats, the record for the most female orgasms in an hour stands at a jaw-dropping 134. An incredible testament to the human capacity for pleasure. Sex as a stress reliever. Sex is one of the most effective stress relievers available. It significantly reduces blood pressure and induces a sense of calm and relaxation. The brain's release of dopamine during sexual activity activates the body's reward system, creating intense feelings of pleasure, similar to the effects of certain recreational drugs, but infinitely healthier. Interestingly, research shows that women are more likely to experience orgasm in committed, long-term relationships rather than casual encounters. This underscores the deep emotional and psychological connections that often enhance physical intimacy. On fantasies and creativity. Sexual fantasies are a natural and healthy part of human sexuality, allowing individuals to explore desires and creative ideas in a private, safe way. Speaking of creativity, did you know the brain tends to be more imaginative when we're tired? Mental fatigue reduces distractions, freeing up space for innovative and out-of-the-box thinking. The power of red. Here's a curious fact. The color red stimulates appetite. This is why it's such a popular choice in food marketing and branding. However, red is also associated with passion and attraction, further connecting its psychological impact to human desire. The numbers behind kissing. The average person spends an astonishing 20,160 minutes kissing in their lifetime. That's 336 hours or roughly 14 days of pure lip-locking connection. While the bedroom remains the most common spot for intimacy, cars come in as a surprisingly popular alternative for Americans. Who hasn't heard of or experienced the thrill of stolen moments in a parked car. Skin, brain, and reproduction. When it comes to the human body, the skin is often referred to as the largest sex organ, thanks to its heightened sensitivity. The brain, however, takes the crown as the most powerful, orchestrating thoughts, emotions, and responses that drive intimacy. Meanwhile, the humble sperm cell's journey to fertilize an egg is an incredible feat of nature, taking roughly an hour to swim just 7 inches. The mystery of pubic hair. Scientists are still scratching their heads over the evolutionary purpose of pubic hair. One leading theory is that it traps pheromones, chemical signals that may influence attraction and arousal. Beyond function, kissing itself is more than an affectionate gesture. It reduces stress and strengthens emotional bonds between partners, proving that intimacy has benefits far beyond the physical. Education and oral sex. Studies suggest that women who have attended college are more likely to enjoy both giving and receiving oral sex compared to those with less educational experience, possibly reflecting greater openness or communication about sexual preferences. Erections and relationships. Men experience an average of 11 erections during the day, and around 9 more during the night. A fascinating quirk of physiology that varies by individual. Interestingly, married individuals report masturbating more frequently than those who live alone. This might be due to various factors, such as greater access to their partners or differences in social dynamics. Growth and color variations. A man's penis typically stops growing by the early 20s, a natural point of physical development. Interestingly, the penis is often darker than the rest of the body, a natural variation influenced by factors like blood flow and skin pigmentation. A thank you to you. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this fascinating journey into the science, quirks, and wonders of human sexuality. If you enjoyed this content, consider subscribing to our channel. It's a small gesture that means the world to us. Every like and comment helps us grow and continue creating meaningful, engaging content for you. Here's to celebrating curiosity, connection, and the stories that bring us together. Thank you for being a part of our community.